Good morning, Deb Roberts.
Good morning, everybody. I am thrilled to be here at GMA to do my story on Celine Dion, life after the death of her husband. What an extraordinary woman who really is, I think, giving us lessons on resilience, how to go on. Life will go on, as sad as it is, and that's what her song sings. But her husband passed away 4 months ago, and now she is standing back up on her feet and getting ready to go on. And this morning, as well as tonight on Nightline, we're going to bring you the details of that interview, hear how her husband passed away, what she said to him, what she said to her children, how her children are coping, and how she feels about going on 30 years after having this man by her side and now going on her own. So I hope you'll watch it. It's a really fascinating interview, and I'd love to answer any of your questions that you might have. So fire away.
All right, we're waiting for some questions to come in. Hi from Belize and
Hi,
from
Belize.
all over the country.
Right.
Definitely, you guys, if you have any questions about this Celine interview, ask us.
Ask.
Right now.
Yeah, I sat down with her for probably about an hour in Vegas, and she just sort of revealed everything. And that's the beauty of Celine Dion. She's an open book, really. She says she doesn't know how to not be an open book. And I didn't know that. I was sort of hesitant to go to that point about her husband's final moments and what happened, because she had told us he wanted to die in her arms, and to have her recount what those moments were like and what she said to him, basically telling him to go on. It's good for you to go ahead and go on, because he was in such pain. He had been suffering. He was dying of cancer. He had had a battle with throat cancer for years. And for her to just say, I release you and I'm going to be okay, was pretty powerful. Pretty powerful.
I do have a couple questions coming in. Mostly, how did it feel talking to her? How did she find her strength? How do you feel she found her strength? And how are the boys? How is the family?
I asked her that. How do you find the strength? And in a lot of ways, I think Celine, while she doesn't really speak to it a lot, she's a spiritual woman. She's from a traditional family, 12 kids, I think. She says that it's all about just one foot in front of the other. Says her mother taught her that, and life is all about just sort of getting up and doing what you have to do. But she says in this case, and she said this to me off camera, she said, I'm so happy that I have these children. I had these children with my husband, because at this moment, they are giving her the strength. They're giving her the reason to go on. So her 5-year-old twins, Nelson and Eddie, and her 15-year-old RC are there for her. She's there for them. She's mother and father now. She's got to be strong, and she's got to go on for them. And she is a strong woman.
Another question for you personally. How did you prepare for an interview like this?
The interesting thing is I had interviewed Celine before. I interviewed her last year, her last interview with Renee, before he took a turn and became so ill. I prepared, just really, really thoroughly the last time, to make sure I have all the details, and I know all about her life, and I know all about her hits, and when she became a star, and how she was 12 years old when, Renee first met her. I prepare by reading all of the articles I can about what's been going on with her since, but I also had the knowledge that she is such a great interview that, you ask her one question and she just gives you this really depth and breadth of an answer. So the truth be told, I didn't really have to dive in and prepare as much this time, because, we all knew about her husband's death 4 months ago, and now the questions are, where do you go from here? So much of it was gut. So much of it was experience, having sat down with her before and having known what I might be in for, and then having a sort of background knowledge, having interviewed her before.
Cool. Natasha C.
Hi, Natasha.
She's asking, were there any surprises in the interview? You just said you've known her for a very long time.
Were there any surprises? I think I was surprised to hear that she wasn't there with him right at those final moments. And she didn't really have to share that. She had come home from her show, and ordinarily she would go into his room to kiss him goodnight. But he was connected to all kinds of tubes and had all kinds of medical equipment, because he really, really was in the final throes of cancer. And that particular night, she didn't go in to disturb him. And then, of course, in the wee hours of the morning, she learned he had passed. So that was really painful for her at the moment, but she went in and she cradled him and she she sat with him and she spent time and she talked with him. And who knows, maybe he hadn't completely transitioned at that moment, but she wasn't there when he took that final breath. And I was really surprised that she would share such an intimate moment in her life.
We'll do one more.
One
One
more.
more question. Will Celine continue making music?
Celine is definitely going to continue making music. In fact, she's going to be at the Billboard Music Awards this weekend singing The Show Must Go On, which is kind of a mantra for her life. Renee loved that song, The Show Must Go On, and Renee taught Celine, even though he was her manager and taught her so much about the business and the stage, he also taught her and guided her over these last few months about moving forward. He prepared her to go on without him. Because he knows that's what she should do. She's, in her 40s. She's a mom. She's a businesswoman. She's got a beautiful voice. And he knew, as well as the rest of us, that she has to continue sharing that. And in some way, it's probably healing for her. So she's got concerts lined up. She's got appearances lined up the next few months. That busy schedule is probably going to heal her. So we will see and hear a lot more from Celine Dion.
Great. All right. We'll see you in just a few minutes
Yes,
on GMA.
on GMA 810. Don't turn off your TVs. Keep watching.